Welcome back to Extra Dirt, the podcast designed to help you and your life group put down deeper roots relationally and spiritually. I hope you enjoyed this week's sermon as we talked about the triumphal entry as Jesus rides into Jerusalem that we celebrate on Palm Sunday. It's a joyous occasion. It's exciting for us as Christians because we see Jesus revealing himself as Messiah, further cementing what we believe in that he is our rightful Lord, that he is God in the flesh, the second person of the Trinity, Jesus Christ. And so it's exciting for us on that account. It's also a little bit saddening for us in knowing that Good Friday is on its way, that Jesus is headed to Jerusalem, and that now that I hope, as you've heard in Luke 19, that Jesus is also weeping over what is coming for Jerusalem. And that's a bit that isn't in the Bible, and so we don't necessarily always hear about it in church, but the reality is that by rejecting Christ, the Jews brought upon themselves these terrible, terrible tragedies. They grabbed a different Messiah that brought them death rather than life. And that's sort of where we hope that you end up with this, is that this passage really is an encouragement to us to receive Christ with faith and to recognize him for who he is and to respond appropriately. It's a reminder that those who resist Christ do so because their hearts are hardened, because they don't see, because they don't understand, because they don't recognize God as he reveals himself to us. And so as you consider those unbelievers in your life, the people that you love that don't know Christ, that aren't followers of Christ, we encourage you then to make all the more effort to speak those words of truth, but do so having already gone to God and said, God, please give them eyes to see, give them ears to hear, help them to understand the truth that is there, that is clear, that is straightforward, that they might see you and recognize you. Because the alternative, as we know, is for those whose hearts are hardened to the point in the corruption of their own sin that they reject Jesus as Messiah. What they bring into their life is false messiahs, is things that are supposed to bring meaning and life and joy, but that instead don't bring that, they bring death. And so we're told, for instance, that Satan is the thief who comes to steal and kill and destroy, and Christ came to bring us life and to bring it to the full. And so encouragement is recognize that it's not just a matter of, hey, some people are Christians, that's nice, and some people aren't, that's nice too. But it's really, some people are followers of Christ and they receive the life that the Messiah brings, and some people aren't followers of Christ, and those who are deaf to him bring in false messiahs who bring death into their life. Sin never brings health and healing and wholeness. It always brings discord and disharmony and death. So please love those around you enough to pray for them, to pray that God would open their hearts, and then just speak the simple truth, knowing that it's not about grand emotional events that is going to make people saved, or miraculous things that is going to cause people to come to Christ, but it's really a softening of the heart, and that's something that God himself does. In regards to your life group, I just wanted to give you a heads up this week that we are going to discontinue the Extra Dirt podcast. We're going to stop publishing it. We will still probably do the supplemental notes in your for each sermon, so that if you want to continue studying the same materials that we're working through in our sermons, you can do so, but we're not going to prepare the study guides. We're not going to prepare those same sets of questions every week, and I won't be doing the training sessions via video anymore. They just consume far too much time, and we don't have enough use of them that we know about to justify doing that. So I guess that is your warning. It's also your last chance. If you're like, no, we really like this, we don't want to get rid of this, this is super helpful to us, it's your last chance to pick up the phone and call me and say, please don't discontinue this. But barring, again, something miraculous, we're planning on in May, when we wrap up Luke for the spring, before we change gears for the summer, we'll be finishing with this whole production. So it's been fun to be a part of it with you, but the time has come and the time has gone, and it looks like God will have other things in store for us as a church instead. So thanks for being with us here this week, and I'll see you again back here next week. God bless.